Now, I want to get into practical exercises right now, right? And these are some common things that come up. Let's say you set your pitch deck, your business plan, you've got a meeting. It's time to actually set your meeting. There's a couple of key takeaways I want to talk about this, and it's called framing. And for those of you that are interested, this was taught by the pitch master Oren Clough in his book called Pitch Anything, and very powerful messages. So the first kind of key takeaway on this is when you actually get your meeting, you need to take control, because if you don't take control, the other person listening to you will use their system, and they'll use what's called their frame of reference, their perspective, and you are going to come from a place of lower authority, lower status, and you won't be listened to. So the most important thing is when it comes time to pitch, it has to be done under your time. You need to control the agenda, and it needs to be your pitch, and it has to be listened to the decision maker. So a lot of common things that happen here are these two paradigms called power frames, time frames. And if anyone's interested, we can get into these other frames. But Matt, why don't you come here and help do some role playing so our audience understands what these frames actually mean.
Awesome, I'd love to. Cool. Yeah. So let's imagine a scenario. You're in a high stakes pitch meeting. You're pitching your startup idea to Mr. Big Shot, we'll call him. He's a well-known investor. And as you're speaking, you notice Mr. Big Shot starts doodling on your pitch deck. Which power or oh no, I almost gave away the answer. Which frame would you use and to handle the situation?
Thanks, Matt. So listen, in this scenario, let's understand first of all what's going on. Okay, this is the most important day for you. Like, this is your baby. You spent all this time preparing your business plan and pitch deck, and at this like high stakes event, this person does not even care. This time is meaningless to them, right? They're doodling on your book, definitely not paying attention. You definitely don't have this deal, right? So what we want to do is you have to identify that this is a power frame, and what we want to do is be able to bust an alpha. So practically speaking, from the perspective of neuroscience, you need to understand that you don't have this deal and you need to take risks, because if you do nothing at this point, you will not be taken seriously. So it is a time to be bold, it's a time to be defiant, and to do something very radical, right? I want you, if you're pitching and someone's doodling, to go up to that investor. I want you to be able to actually take your pitch printout that he's reading and doodling on, and you want to say to him, I understand why this is so interesting. This is a beautiful piece of artwork here. And with a lot of humor, this isn't supposed to be a hostile event. This is supposed to be very tasteful. You want to be able to say, let's forget about this pitch for a second. Can you pitch me on this doodle? I'm ready to invest in this. What's this about? And then be able to slide back into your pitch. Listen, totally kidding. I understand here, but I understand what's going on here. But if we can get back to the pitch, I want to show you some X and Y. What is going on here is so powerful, right? What you have done is you activated that croc queen. You show that you're in the presence of a pro. You're not intimidated by this person. You flip the script and you got that person's attention. So it's very important to be able to take that risk and show that you're not a fearful person, that you are a dominant person that believes himself and you're a leader. Matt, present to us another frame here, and I'd happy to share with the audience what to do in a situation when you're pitching.
Yeah, cool. Let's tone it down a bit. Let's see what we come up with here. You're pitching an idea for business. You have everything ready. You come into the room. Things are going well, and you notice that we'll say Mr. Big Shot again starts looking at his watch, and he looks up and he says, "Hey, I've got another meeting in 10 minutes. Can you give me the highlights, the key differentiators of your business quickly? I gotta go. Time is money." What frame would you use then?
Thanks, Matt. So it's very important to understand what's going on here. This is called generally a time and an actual prize frame at the same time. Number one, if you are not in control of this meeting, right, you're probably not going to come out ahead. This person is trying to take control. In order for a pitch to be effective, it has to be on your time and it needs to be done on your agenda. It's just simple as that. So what you need to do is reclaim your status. And the way you do that is, I'm not intimidated by this like 10 minutes in your head. What you want to say is, oh, I don't even have 10 minutes. Actually, I've got to go. This is, I've only planned 7 minutes for this meeting. So that works for me, right? It is so subtle, but what you want to do is you have to make sure this is done in your framework. A lot of times what happens is when you're going into these meetings, you're going to I would say like a very humiliating like process. You're going into a board meeting, you have to like sign in like security, you're being set in a conference room. Sometimes there's other people waiting for you when you're pitching to these VCs in some cases. And it's a very dehumanizing process. So what you want to really be able to do is in these settings, don't worry about being nice. A lot of people, what they do is they go through the formalities of small talk, right? They try to get them to like them, right? What you want to do is actually take control. Be like, hey, listen, that's okay. I only got 7 minutes for this. Don't try to kiss that person's ass right away. They're going to be really intrigued, and there's going to be a subtle framework to put things in your power. Obviously, you're not here to be a jerk. You're not here to be unliked either. But what you want to do is reclaim that status when it comes time to pitch. If anyone's interested in these practical tips, we do a lot of coaching as well as creating the pitch decks. And there's a lot of other frames we can talk about when you actually create your pitch and plan and creating intrigue. But all this, what it does, it activates the warm part of the brain, the reptile brain. And we want to look at all this holistically.